Come here. Up. Stay up. There. Stay up. Good boy. Kind of got him. He's like as tall as me.
Yeah, you could stand up even. I mean, she's little, so if I was you, I'd be like this.
Stay, bud.
And you kind of pull up and you pull back into his hips. And you can just like kind of see how her legs are kicking back.
Yeah.
All you're doing is like really like being like a hammock up under his belly and then pulling him. Even if he pulls away from you.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing to me?
Do you feel anything?
Kind of hard. Hey, lay down. Lay down.
We can do it on the side if you want.
Yeah, so I was just gonna track down. Settle. Good boy. Stay. So how would I grab him here? Just like
you're gonna try and pull it into a stretch at first.
Good boy. Stay. Yeah, good boy. Stay.
Yeah, and then you kind of just like shake it. When you feel it get to the point of tension, like where it doesn't want to go anymore, you just kind of bounce it a little bit.
Okay.
And you feel that cord or that line that's really tight.
Yeah.
You feel like you're bouncing right at the limit of it and off of it, like back and forth, and it starts to melt. Chill out, man. You're the only dog in the world that doesn't want to get food with my daddy. What are you doing?
Good boy.
You have no choice. You're too small. What are you doing?
Lay down. Settle. Good. I'll give you treats. Yeah. Good boy.
It looks like it's lengthening already. A lot of it's just going to be soothing to his nervous system to just get it to where it doesn't feel so grabby on him.
Okay.
And then now you can take the leg like on the side and just chill out. And then you can just take and you want to like grab up under the where the kind of the ball of it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then lengthen it up. Let me zoom in just a little bit.
Yeah, good job. Good. Does that feel good? You can do that. His like one eye's closing. He's like falling asleep.
What's that?
Said his one eye keeps closing. He's falling asleep.
Oh yeah. Once it starts melting, the dogs just chill. Like Precious, I haven't worked on her like thoroughly in a couple months. So yeah, I've been working on her. Her sister's the crippled one. So, but just grabbing around like where the meat of it is, and then you just kind of use your hand to extend this, straighten that leg out, and just bounce on that. And it's like you're stretching too far, not enough, too far, not enough, just kind of off and on.
Hey, settle.
So it's the ballistic stretching they said is terrible for you, but it's actually not. And sometimes you can pull it in like that and stretch it across the hip, or you can open it.
Settle. Settle. Go play. You want a treat? I'll give you a treat.
Yeah, like her leg's already like another inch or so more open, so.
That feels good, right?
He's like, I'm starting to get this.
Yeah. I usually I always try to massage him because or just not massage him really, but like rub his back hips just because I knew as a big dog it's gonna be a little problematic for him as he gets older. But I never really stretch him.
Yeah, and then after this, I mean, really, like when you go into it, then you like when you hang on him, even though you won't do that right now, I'm gonna make you fall. You just want to find that as you stretch it, and then you'll go into right in the joint, like close to right to his glutes, like in here.
Okay.
And you kind of pinch your hand, push it in like this. and then find like any hard spot, and then you kind of bounce into that. You like press into it on and off.
Okay.
And then if you do it kind of while you stretch it, you'll feel it start to open.
Okay.
You can even get like a more aggressive, like as he gets used to it, like I get on her and she don't like it, but it's not bad for her. She's not tensing up. When I work on her regularly though, she'd just pass out instantly. She doesn't care. Because normally that's probably what it is. Normally I put the Theragun on him. Her legs already like way more defined. That's crazy. Look at that, Precious. You're gonna be all sexy again, mamas. You're gonna be out. We'll put you out. You'll see all your friends, and they'll be like, "Oh, look at you, all buff again." She used to be so buff when I worked on her all the time, and my business partner used to come over and he would play laser with her for like 4 hours, 5 hours at a time sometimes.
Wow.
She'd be like looking like a tweaker after he left. She would just be like tongue out and like can't stop looking for the light. I'm like, dude, you ruin my dog every time you come over.
It's good. You're doing good.
So try flipping him over and doing the other side too. Actually, before you do, right here, you see how I'm basically got my hand just on top of the two hips, and I'm trying to like press on the hip.
Mm-hmm.
If you put your hand right on the ball of his hip right through there, you'll feel like a hard spot. And then you want to kind of like move your hand around while pressing in and see if you can line it up with the other hip spot, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And if you do, you'll feel like a connection. You might, as long as you're not pressing too hard. But if you feel those, then you wiggle those two together, and you really start melting all the stuff inside of their hip flexors and their pelvic girdle. Wow, for her, it just melted away. That's crazy. I feel like I can squish her like another half inch now. It doesn't even hurt her. Look at her now. See her chilling?
Yeah.
This is what she knows. She's like, all right, fine. I know. But I didn't warm her up with the Theragun, so she's probably like, this is crap. What are you doing? Normally, I get massage first and put some essential oils on. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get free. But you're not. I'm not done yet. You go, girl. At least you could spend a bunch of time with me, huh?
Try flipping over, bud.
Anything in there?
What'd you say?
Are you feeling anything in there?
I'm not sure if I'm lining it up right, but I mean he's
kind of like if you
more...
press into it and then like get up over it like this, like you're gonna balance on it, but don't put all your weight on it.
I gotcha. Okay.
There you go. You want to feel like you're pressing the one into the other, as if you were balancing the top on the bottom.
I gotcha.
Yeah, see, that's a money shot for him right there.
So keep doing that.
If you keep working on it, so you can just be more gentle and just pump it like into it, don't rub around.
Mm-hmm.
Just push into it off and on.
Okay.
And you don't even have to do it that hard. So whatever his tolerance is to make him like kind of oblivious to it, that's what you want to shoot for.
Into it. Okay.
You can either do it like fast and crazy when he gets used to it, or you can do it slow and methodically over time and like just kind of make it so he doesn't realize it's there.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Can you lay down again? Lay down. Settle. Oh boy. Okay, all right. You don't have much tolerance for that at all.
You can even grab both sides and like push them together like that too. You know, if he's ever upright and you're just like behind him, you can just take both hands on him and squeeze both the hips together.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yep, I gotcha.
Standing, you can do that too, but.
Get up. Come on, get up. Are you sleepy now? Come on, up. Get up. Thank you. Okay, stay there. So like just push in here then, like
Yeah, like if you had two balls and you were trying to balance them on top of each other, that's kind of like what you're doing. If you had a ball in your left hand and a ball in your right, and you were trying to like sit them right on top of each other without slipping off, you want to line them up perfect. And you'll start to notice like this will teach you like the connection of what it feels like. Because almost every knot, every adhesion or whatever in the muscle, that's what it feels like. Ooh, I just melted your shoulder, huh, Precious? She jumped really bad. Oh, it hurts.
Stop. Nobody's there.
Seems like he's digging that a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely more tolerant this way. Hey, get down. Hey.
All right, I see a big issue that he's got. It's like right at the top of his tail.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Right at the top of his tail. We need to break that up. So you just need to get your fingers. Hey. You're funny. It's like right at the top up here. You're gonna See how he tucks that? I mean that whole round part right there that goes up to the part of his back.
Mm-hmm.
So you just press around on there and find like hard spots. Even if it feels like bone, it shouldn't feel like bone.
Okay. Stop. Stop.
Chill, mamas.
Hey. Oh, I found it. I found the spot. Hey, that's enough.
Yeah, if you just find them, okay, so the same thing is like you figure like a trigger point is like a button. So you wouldn't like press a button like this, you know what I mean? You would try and get right to where you feel like the button, you're pressing straight through it.
Okay.
So when you get onto that knot, that hard part that you want to feel like you're pushing it. Stop it. Right back into the body.
Okay. I think this is a good one.
Finding them? If you release that and get it to like his butt to come up, he's gonna be your like a new type of best friend.
Okay.
Because that's why he's tucked really, really bad. It looks like he's got like the old lady standing in front of you at Walmart butt. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't even gate there. That's why he's not even recruiting any of his the muscles behind his hip.
Okay.
Yeah, when he's down there is the best. Just take your hand like this, no joke. Baby, go up there and zoom it in. Sorry. All right. And then hit the button, babe. All right. Cool. So just no joke. Get your hand on it and try and find like this, and don't rub around.
Mm-hmm.
Find a hard rub until you find like something that feels hard against your palm.
Okay.
And then hold your hand against it and then rub into it like while you keep your hand pressing into it. Most people have a tendency to lift as they move. The goal is to actually massage and press. So once you get on top of that spot, just do this. Before you rub, just get used to like, you'll feel it move as I just feel her whole tail melt as I do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's little, so it's going to be faster, but it's going to create the same effect when you do it on him. And you can just bounce on the hard spot and just keep pressing into the hard spot. Even if it feels like nothing, just keep pressing into it until you feel it start to move.
Okay.
And he should just eventually be like, whatever, this feels kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, then you slap it,
Mm-hmm.
then you rub it, and then it gets all better, huh, Precious? Yep, see? Just rub it around. Once you get them used to it, you can just make it like part of their game, you know, like where you just grab them and you're holding their rib cage, and I'll just pick her up and like stretch her whole rib cage over. I mean, it'd be cool if you had like a 15-pound dog to practice on. But,
Yeah, he's like literally as big as me. I think we found one, huh?
Yeah, he's digging that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's like super aggressive at the vet. So And like, plus I don't know. I don't like, if I would have brought him there for his hip, they would have just like given me pain medication or something. And I'm like, that's not, it's not what I want to go for, but hey, stop, stop. Hey, Ollie's up. Okay, Ollie's up.
And when you really find the like hard spot, then just press. You'll find that like pressing into it. Oh, that damn. Whoa, is that good? That was incredible. So I guess sometimes you'll get that. She got just 3 pops in her entire pelvis and lower back. Her whole back just lengthened. You see that? Just got super thick. Oh, precious, man. Let her run for a minute. Look at her. Oh yeah, her gait is perfect. Look at that. Wow, that was the most. We witnessed it on the recording. That was the most I've ever felt a dog pop in the pelvis area through there. It was like a clunk, 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 and 3 of them. And look at it. Yeah. See, like, cut out a little bit more.
Yeah, he was like limping again.
Do you have a gun or anything?
I don't.
Oh, okay. No worries. Do you have anything that vibrates? It's not the normal thing that every household has, so.
I've been actually wanting to get one of those guns anyway, but come here. I'll give you a treat.
Yeah, the Yahuah guys, they just sent me their gun, and it's actually pretty comparable to their gun. It's $300 and something less. So.
Which one is it?
It's called the Yahuah. It's this
okay.
One. I need to do a video. I promised them I would.
Thanks. Okay, I'll do this time. Good job.
It has 5 settings. It's really quiet.
Nice.
But it's really comparable to the Fair gun.
Okay.
It's definitely worth it for $300 less.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite a difference.
Yeah, even stuff that feels like just real bone, it's not supposed to feel hard like that. And most of it, when you keep doing it, it'll sink in and you won't feel it anymore.
Okay. How can you tell the difference between, I guess you just maybe need to know the anatomy. Like, how can you tell the difference between when it's like a hard spot like that and it's bone?
I mean, even the hardest spot you'll feel that you think is like, well, that's bone. It should feel that way. The ligaments and tendons say that it shouldn't feel that way. It should actually have some kind of give.
Okay.
And typically when you feel a bone sticking out on the surface on a dog that big, when he has that much tissue on him, it means that he's out of alignment, and that's why it's protruding, like big fleshy dogs like that should not have big bony areas sticking out of them. They should be under the surface with a significant amount of tissue on top of it. So when you look at
you see how he's like hobbling again? He's doing it. Oh, he stopped.
What's that?
He was like babying it again just now.
He's going to feel like as you make stuff move and change, it's going to feel like awkward for him. You're just going to go up his spine, keep going up his spine. Like, don't just focus on that area. Like, go up the body and just check around. Like, when you think of your face, the tissue on your face, and then you go up to your cheek, and you're like, oh, wow, that's super hard. And I can actually soften my cheek up and make it even softer. But I'm just telling you, relative to the rest of your face, like if you get around and you're feeling like a lot of cheeky stuff on him, then that's good. That's really pliable. The second you get to where it feels more like your cheek sticking out, it really shouldn't feel like that on dogs. Because on their face, of course, but we're not talking about his face because we wouldn't be, massaging our face as our typical issue,
Right.
But on him, from the throat down, like right there, his right shoulder sticking up. You see that point sticking up on it? Press on that.
Here?
Yeah. And so now you're gonna get your pressure, but see how you're across it? You want to be up over it.
Okay.
Yeah, like downward pressure, so that way you can push it right back into the body. You want to get away from like the angle. Anytime you're pressing, you want to just hold the pressure and move your elbow until you feel like you've got it going back into the body. You'll feel, it should feel like something turns on below it and you feel more of what you're pressing on when you get it over when you're not pressing at an angle and you truly get centered over it. you should feel like it lights up something below it. You do it on his ribs, you do it through his abdomen, everything, just checking different spots. And I mean, you could do this to him all the time that you're around him, just hanging out, his whole body. And you'll notice that, you know, he'll fall asleep. His computer will kind of relearn things. It'll be like, oh, there's not as much pressure here. It'll shift over. And then day upon day upon day, it'll stretch back out. But even still, like right through there where you can see it, right, like it's kind of, he's straight in front of you, like where your left hand is.
Right. Oh, my left hand.
Go slide that hand back, and there's like
Here.
a bump. There's a button. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
That ridge right there is his problem. So
Okay.
you got, yeah. Do you feel it?
Yes.
You might feel like gelatinous and kind of like squishy, inflamed, and hard at the same time. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, real fibrous-y. Does it feel kind of like? Do you feel
It
a bunch of
definitely feels
cords?
hard. Yeah, it feels hard.
So that, like that, you just press in a good amount and then back off a little bit.
Okay.
And then you should you'll notice that as you do that, you pump in, but keep the pressure. When you back off a little bit, don't back all the way off. Just press in and then let go a little bit. And then keep your forward pressure, like keep your weight in your elbow. You're not going to hurt him. He's just probably going to bite you more than anything. Like, you know, he already shows you.
No big deal if he bites me.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to do that, and don't be scared to lean your elbow locked a little bit. You know what I mean? So your weight is not, you want to make your arm like an inanimate object, and then just use your weight of your body, and then use your hips to determine how much weight you want to put on him. So you pull your glutes back if you don't want to put as much, but then keep it on, and you should feel it melt. And just when you press again and hold and move your shoulder, use your body to move your whole arm around until you feel like you're directly into it.
I already feel it loosening up a little bit.
Yeah, that's perfect. And just don't let your pressure up. You want to feel like you're taking what you want to knead dough. Okay. Like, so you want to feel the cord and push the cord into a stretch and hold it until it kind of feels like nothing's there anymore, and then go back the other way. But the entire time you got to keep inside of that layer, whatever layer you're in. You're basically like, if you pressed into Play-Doh and it smushed out around your hand, you want to stay inside of where you press down and push all those outsides until they're flat.
Okay,
so
I got you.
If you lift up, you're going to come out of that layer that you're pressing into. It's fine, whatever way you can get. You like with my dogs, I had to get, they're smaller, but when I work with bigger dogs, I just have to go with whatever they're doing, because it might be uncomfortable for what he's feeling, because he's way more aware. Like what our brain's thinking right now is so trivial to what his brain is feeling right now from the He's definitely standing higher on that side. His mid back is like a lot more elongated. It's not round, it's tucked on this side for sure. And you can see like his abdomen's firing more. Hey, little Bubba. Hey, Bubba. Yeah, he's higher on that side for sure. He's a good, healthy dog. He's just impaired right now. There's nothing wrong with him. And so if you could fix him in one night.
Yay.
I kid you not. Look how tall he's standing right there. His head's even higher and like everything. He doesn't have that round tucked butt anymore. Yeah. And he barely did anything.
It's interesting. Like, I don't like think to look at my dog like in that way that you did, you know, like, plus I guess I see him every day too. So it doesn't look different to me, but now
go on Google and look up his breed, and then look up show dogs and see how long they get them to where their leg doesn't look like it's like this. It looks like it's sitting back.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a girl when she's got a thick glute on her and her hamstrings pop in, her leg looks like it's shifted back. It doesn't look like it's under her like this.
Right. I gotcha.
So, and sometimes too, obviously in normal women, it's always too much, but like all humans. But if you see with him, like it's awesome. The mid back is now like, it looks like he's got a back and then a butt now.
Yeah.
And you just need to keep doing that on both sides. But what also I see is if you look where the rib cage is up under his shoulders in the front, all that bump right there is too stuck out.
This here?
You could do that too. But I'm talking actually on the rib cage under his shoulder, the bump that sticks out.
Okay.
He's not, I think it's a byproduct of his hip issue. So I think now the byproduct is just important as the actual hips, because his rib cage doesn't, he does this. He looks like a tractor that has, two wheels in the front and then two wheels in the back. So my son plays tractor games, so I always make tractor references, but he doesn't hinge. He doesn't have that like wormy kind of flow.
Right.
Very robotic like this.
Okay.
So if you get up under his shoulders, so the hand you just tucked up under, if you just reach up, yeah, that area right there. Don't go onto his shoulder, go behind it. Like, yeah. If you were to pull it back, you feel all the bulge of his rib cage. And you can do this and like press like you're stretching it. Because in essence, all I'm teaching you to do is to stretch. Whether you foam roll, whether you press on him, you're feeling a bump. That's a collected area. And you're finding what direction you push it to get it to stretch. So you press in and then you pull it one direction. That's the next thing I was going to teach you. So once you press in and you're bouncing on it, you want to take the knot that you feel, that ball, and pull it. And almost like an Indian rug burn. You want to like drag it. So yeah, take those ridges and pull them down his side like a massage, and do gently at first. And then you just kind of pull it, but use your palms and let your fingers relax. Let your fingers do this. Like pull them up, pull the fingers up off. Yeah. And then try not to, so don't bend the wrists. Keep your hands together like this, but just pull your fingers like you're trying to curl them out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. And go slower though, because you want to be pressing just as much in as you are dragging it. So you're keeping pressure and then using your body weight to like drag it, and like, no joke, like Indian rug burn, stretch it. Don't let it slide out from under your hands. Like pull his skin, pull the knot, everything.
Okay.
This is a lot of what I did on that horse, on that before and after. It just.
You worked on a horse?
If you look at the before and after in my most recent picture, yeah, this horse was like, had this huge curve in its back, and I got it almost completely flat. Its belly was sagging like this. I got it to pick all the way up.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now these horse people want me to work on them. It's so cool. So, the more you do it, the slower you do it, the harder you do it.
Okay.
So you start out easy and gentle and kind of quick, and then you slow down more and you press more and you try and feel those knots, and you just for me, I close my eyes on every client. Every time I close my eyes and I feel exactly the spot on my palms, like that is touching the most. And then I ignore the rest of my pressure and I only focus on the pressure that I feel on that spot.
Gotcha.
Because if you kind of just pull, then you're not really going to focus on anything. You're just like aimlessly pulling. It'll work, but there's a big difference when you actually pay attention to the spot you feel, because you can say, oh, that's melting, and kind of like, so. And here's the next thing. Now, next one you do, pull, and then pull for a few inches, and then push it back up. And so drag it and stretch it back up. You can do it on the side too, just like that. Pull a knot, and then push it back up.
Okay, gentle. Is that too much?
Yeah, he's starting to get more chill. That's cool. And you'll start to feel like how the onion kind of peels back, and like how this cord melts away. And then you can feel another one. It starts to go this way, and you just follow it.
On his back, when we were working like more on his hip before, it felt like solid bone. And then as I was working on it, it felt more like a ball, and I can move the ball more.
And that's when you have all the layers stuck together, now they all just feel like the joint that they're around. So when you melt them away, they start to be like 5 layers that separate. But when they separate, they start to support your weight, so you don't feel the hardness of the bone anymore. You feel the squishiness of the tissue, and then blood fills in and everything.
Right. Good. I know. Settle. Hey. Good.
What kind of dog is he?
He's an Italian Mastiff.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say big boy.
He's actually, and I mean, I think I'm just used to him being big, but I thought he was going to be a lot bigger.
How much does he weigh?
He's probably around like 115, 120.
Wow.
But like some of their breeds, like I know a friend of mine has a female and she's like 170 pounds or something crazy. Like his dad was 120 and his mom was 90 something. So he's a little bit of a smaller.
Whatever that lion dog is, they had the one guy that was like 400 pounds.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw that. Hey.
He would herd the lions in Africa they would all run up the tree. Just one dog. I was like, that's crazy. And I guess they finally found a female that was like 300 and something pounds and they bred them. And I haven't heard any more about the story, but I imagine his pups would have to be like
huge,
a 500-pound male.
Yeah.
And when you feel like a really hard spot anywhere in the chain, it's always good to pause and just like let your hand just melt away on it for 10, 15 seconds. And then like see if it moves. And when you go back through that line again, it'll just keep starting to, all you're doing is finding cords that have become balls. And then as the balls melt, they go back to a cord of muscle, that the length of the muscle starts to spread back out. And you can also too, when you find those hard spots, just give it some pumps. Like you can just pump it like into his body a little bit, just gently. And a lot of times what that's going to do is you're going to throw stimulation into those deeper layers that are dormant, and it'll just give them a little action. And really like when tension builds, it's the body kind of stopping the connection there. So just putting a little pulse of energy in there allows those tissues to have like something to kind of wake up with.
Makes sense.
He's passing out. What? Yeah, see, she's got him almost asleep. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Set it up.
Oh, he was asleep.
I know. Settle. Settle.
It's cool too. Like when I know it's like, it's good if you can keep him asleep and keep working too, but it's always good. Like when you're getting him used to this, to like, let him walk around. That's a lot of dogs. When I first meet them, I'll like crank on their neck for a minute. Some of them will be like, just growling at me. And then I'll just like I'll release like 4 or 5 spots and then I'll walk away. And every time, like within 20 minutes, they're like, boop, and they like peel themselves right to my leg. And the one Doberman that I worked on, he basically, it took him like 4 or 5 seconds to get up off the ground every time. It was painful to watch. And then after two hours of working on his hips and stuff, he tore off running around the acre in the backyard with and my friend was like, dude, he's never does this. And then he jumped from the 3rd step in the pool out of the water and onto the side. And his mom was like, I've never seen him do that even when he was a puppy. Like, wow. And then she said she woke up one day 2 years later and he was just gone in his cage. That was it. But she said he never had any physical issues after that. And I didn't do it. I did exactly what you're doing right now. See how, okay, so he's pretty tucked and curved in that back right there. You can see, but it's like, it's at the very top, right above his tail. So it's got like a slope there that's pretty hard, but all the middle of the back is starting to pick up way more. So now he's got like, it's a big slope, but it's smaller now.
Okay.
You got some of the mid back to pick up there too.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep him walking around for a second if you can. Like,
Come here. Oh, good job. Walk this way. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, that right side looks leaner. Yeah, even this side looks like the rib cage is starting to drop. Now you really need to get where that hump is towards. See that hump that he's got right there, the highest
Right
point?
here.
No, like in the middle of the back.
Oh, yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah,
yep.
you gotta. You gotta go through there like that, right down the spine. Like take like 2 or 3 fingers and like drag him like right next to the spine. You're not gonna hurt his spine. Like if you could hurt his spine with 3 fingers on each side, then like that dog would have died falling down the steps when as a puppy.
He's already broken then.
Yeah, I know. Like sometimes people say, "Oh, you're not supposed to press on the spine." I'm like, "What?" Like if you got a car accident thinking that way, you would explode.
Yeah. You're good. Stay right there. Okay. Don't be there. Okay. The same thing. Just go in and press.
Yeah, you're just gonna press.
I think he's pretty tender there. Very gentle.
I'll be gentle. Angry right there, but I mean it's.
Hey. Gentle. That's my face.
Think you found the ticket.
Hey. You don't like it?
You start up by the neck and then like just work your fingers down, just like you're just petting him. Yeah, do your whole hand. Don't press and focus. Just do your whole hand on both sides, just from the neck. Like make him think that you're just petting him. Yeah, like just get him to like numb out to that, and just bit by bit, just start adding pressure with the middle fingers and stuff, and just. How old is he?
He's like 3.5 now.
Yeah, it's too early to have stuff going on.
That's what I was like. I mean, I knew he was gonna maybe have hip issues someday, but I was like, he's only 3.
What water do you give him?
I have a Berkey filter now, so I've been giving him that. But we have well water.
Yeah, if you give him just for how much water does he drink?
Depends on the day, but I don't know. Actually, he drinks a lot of water. I've never really measured.
I mean, it would be like for animals, you could even do it for a period of time. If you gave him just take and put distilled water in his bowl, and then, or even if you want to throw the distilled water in a blender, like a gallon at a time or whatever, and then throw a touch of sea salt in it, and you can taste it and see if it's too salty or if it just tastes like good water. Because with stuff like that, arthritis or anything developing around the joints or whatever, or it's just good to do it like flushing for animals. But if you do distilled water with just a touch of sea salt, it'll strip his gut of all of it. A lot of the minerals, I haven't really studied Berkey's minerals or whatever, but a lot of the minerals they use in water, we shouldn't really be getting minerals from water. We should be getting now, if you get bicarbonate electrolytes from like Live Pristine, those are the best, most anti-acid bicarbonate minerals you can get, and they're also the most bioavailable. But for him, if you just buy the gallons of distilled, and since you don't have a distiller, and just pour it and see you'll figure out quickly how much water he drinks. And just put a touch of sea salt, whatever, Himalayan sea salt, whatever, or regular sea salt, and just, you could do it in the blender and just blitz it for a few minutes. It'll structure the water with that sea salt, and it'll be like a powerful magnet to pull all the free radicals it can out of his body.
Okay. I do have like mineral drops, like trace mineral drops. Should I do that or do the sea salt?
I mean, like sea salt has like, probably the same amount of trace minerals that you're going to put in your drops. The goal is not to get minerals from the water. We're just putting a touch in there to where you can't even taste it. Well, to where you can tell it changed the water, but not to where it tastes salty. And then that creates semiconduction. It allows the energy and electricity to feed through the water, but it also creates more of the same water that's around our cells and animal cells. So, and plant cells. So it will create a bigger charge in his body, and you're not putting very many minerals in there. So that way the most of the water molecules are free to pick up stuff in the body. The more minerals you have in water, the less it's going to pick up out of the gut. That's why water is meant to structure the gut, and then you're supposed to get and it'll absorb your minerals out of food a lot better. But just for him, I mean, it would be really good. Like you notice right away, you'll see a difference in his coat and everything. It already looks pretty good, but it would already, I mean, it would improve, and you would see just stuff coming out of him because water's a magnet. It'll start grabbing all the free radicals. And then, I mean, do you give him organ meat and stuff?
No. I mean, that's what actually I told my husband. My husband hunts, so I told him he should start saving the organs from the deer for the dog. But no, we don't usually.
Yeah, so we didn't for years. Now we put them on Origin, which is like the only high grade food we could find that doesn't have folic acid. So if you look at his food, make sure it does not have folic acid. You know what folic acid is?
I'm not, no.
Okay.
Not scientifically, no.
So folate is the real version that you get out of food. Folic acid is made from oil. It's a fake version of it, but it's super, super caustic to the body. It's like a heavy metal. So if his food has that in it, then find a different food for sure. You want one. And most of the good foods that actually give a crap, they don't have folic acid in it, just food for thought. So that's a good buffer to look at for picking and choosing your food for him. The water will help for sure, especially even with the Berkey that you have right now. Take his water and throw it in a blender and splits it, even your own water.
I
you just spin it for 3
used to, and then I stopped doing that.
Yeah, with the Berkey, if it has minerals in it, if you spin the water for a few minutes, and if you take your Berkey, filter it, and throw it in the fridge and keep it cold. If you watch my water video and do the freeze trick, it'll make it like really, really good, but you don't have to do that. It can make energy in the body up to 3 times faster. So it's something, to think about if you want like to just improve things. Did it cut off?
Yeah, mine hold on. It says my internet's like, let me just make sure it's connecting to the right one. It is. Oh, it's good now. We're good.
All right. Did you hear all that?
You had said take his water and blitz it, and then that was all I got.
Yeah,
sorry.
So even right now, until you get distilled or whatever, just take the burpee water for all of you, filter it, throw it in the fridge, get it cold. Or you can watch my water video and do the freeze trick. That'll really enhance the water. Like if you do the freeze trick a few times, I guarantee you'll never drink any water but that, because it tastes so different. It tastes sweet. Most of my clients, even people who are 100 pounds overweight, or look at it like it's a Pepsi. They're like, why is that sweet? And it's like your palate, the sweeter water is, the more your palate wants it. But if you just take your water now, and if nothing else, spin it. But what I would do is I would take your water and chill it down, and keep like your water you're going to drink for the next day cold in the fridge, because it has more structure if it's cold. It's not better for digestion and all that if it's warm. I mean, it's such a farce.
I like cold water anyway. Like warm water does nothing for it doesn't satiate me at all.
Good. So just take that water that's cold from the fridge, and then like in the morning to start your day, like I keep mine in like bigger jugs, but just spin it for a few minutes and then throw it into whatever, and it'll make a bunch of EZ water, which is our cell water. It'll make everything, your brain, everything work better. It'll make a huge difference in your dog. Especially he's never done it before. You'll just see him like take massive dumps, and he'll just, that like, wow, like he's really moving some stuff out. Yeah. It'll help his gut in so many ways. And he'll probably pee like super dark, like yellow for a while. And that means more uric acid is taking those free radicals out in the urea. So if you, Yeah, if you do that, check folic acid, make sure that he doesn't have any food, doesn't have any folic acid. Get him on some organ meat for sure. Like right,
Okay.
especially while he's impaired, and especially like food stuff is getting wild right now. So I like the stuff we try and find, it's like it's hard. Like our normal farm person doesn't have stuff. And so stock up on some organ meat and just
Okay.
he's completely better. And you should keep it on him anyways. Animals should be on a raw diet if they can. And then you should, for him, you might, kibble is going to be a lot cheaper. Just fine. Like Origin's raw and mostly raw. And then you do supplemental organ meat. And the organ meat
That's what or sorry, I was just starting to look into like a raw diet because I know that's so much better for dogs. And I was like, how can I make that manageable with him and how much he eats and what's manageable for us? But
it will be expensive for sure.
Yeah.
But that's why you have to like supplement kibble with the raw to mix it in. And now here's the thing. I would just say that if you did like a good brand like Origin or something like that for the kibble, that has no folic acid in it, and it's ORIGEN, and then what's it called? And then supplement the organ meat. That would basically be, satisfactory for the raw portion of it, because the organ meat is like, they become carnivorous for that stuff like crazy. They foam at the mouth for it because there's such a amazing abundance of stuff that they get out of it, and they can tell like their brain and everything goes crazy when we get dogs' bones and stuff versus organ meat. It's like totally different, totally different. So do that. I'll still check in if you need to pop on next week. I don't mind. We can check in back in next week.
That'd be cool.
But just try some of that stuff all over. You're trying to make hard stuff soft, okay?
Okay.
And you want to press in as much as you need to, but back off until you feel it melt. You don't want to go to where it feels like, if it just feels like stiff and nothing's happening, back off a little bit. Sometimes you'll go away and you'll immediately feel it melt. So, and just try and make hard things soft on him for a week. Check in with me. And then, like I said, if you need to get back on and have me show you some more like demonstration on it, then I'll do it for sure.
Perfect. I appreciate it so much. This was so helpful.
All right, cool. And then just, any questions on dietary stuff and everything? I mean, we don't know it all, but we've done a lot with it over the years. So we've been at it for probably like 6 or 7 years, messing with their diets and ended up where we are right now. And that Origin brand is like the best that we could find. It's expensive, but it's cheaper than raw. And then you just buy organ meat and stuff like that. And I mean, you should notice between that, distilled water, or even spinning his water. But the distilled will really help him pick up a bunch of stuff. Changing the water and the food and things like that, and then just working on him, I bet you in like a week's time, you should notice he should be rocking out pretty good.
Awesome.
Cool. And I'll record this, and then I'm gonna post it for free on the or no, actually I won't. I'm probably gonna no, I don't want to post it up because it's you and stuff like that. I was trying to think of the content and things. No, actually I'm not gonna post it at all. So I'm gonna see, like, can we do it private? I was saying I was going to post it in the free section, but so I could just post it up and you could go to it, but then everybody could see it, and I'm not going to like.
I don't really care. If you want to use it, you can. That's totally fine.
Okay, if you don't, you sure?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, well then I'll just post it like I'm going to post a video for people. I mean, it'll be really, really helpful. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
And then what's it called? And then I'll send you the link right away when we do it.
Okay, perfect.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
See ya. Yeah, bye.